you out of the earth and their words to all the world. God has made a home in the heavens for the sun. It bursts forth like a radiant bridegroom after his wedding. It rejoices like a great athlete eager to run the race. The sun rises at one end of the heavens and follows its course to the other end. Nothing can hide from its heat. The instructions of the Lord are perfect, reviving the soul. The decrees of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. The commandments of the Lord are right, bringing joy to the heart. The commands of the Lord are clear, giving insight for the living. The reverence for the Lord is pure, lasting forever. The laws of the Lord are true. Each one is fair. They are more desirable than gold, even the finest gold. They are sweeter than honey, even honey dripping from the comb. Can we sing to that Lord in the heavens today? Will you stand to your feet, lift our voices. Bonner Springs Church of Nazarene, we are so glad that you're here with us. You may be seated if you're trying to decide which one you're supposed to do right now. You can go ahead and stand. If you're a guest with us, we want to extend a special welcome to you. We're so glad that you're here. You should have gotten a worship folder inside. There should be a care card. And if you wouldn't mind filling that out for us and letting us know a little bit about who you are and what brings you here and any way that we can connect with you, we would love to do that. And for those of you that are here every week, that care card is a great way to update your information for us or to request prayer for something going on in your life. So we would just love to hear from you. Got a couple of announcements just about our community life together. The Feed His Lambs Pie Sale is August 25th, and there is some information in your worship folder, and there's also information out on the Welcome Center. John is hosting a puppet training, and that's next Sunday as well, August 25th. Saturday. It's August 25th. And the 2 o'clock in the afternoon, John's hosting a puppet training. Anybody that wants to be involved in puppet ministries or learn a little more about it. And then Young at Heart next Saturday as well, the 25th. They are having a cookout at Ron Ellis's house at 5:30 in the afternoon. And I think he's firing up the grill, and I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. So that's for the Young at Heart group. We would love to see you guys out there, and Ron would love to cook for you, I'm sure. And then there's some other things going on. You can check those out in your worship folder and on the screen. But one other thing I want to call your attention to is baptism on October 7th. We're going to have a baptism service on October 7th. So if you are interested in being baptized, will you come and talk to Pastor Nathan or talk to myself or one of the other pastors? And we would love to have that conversation with you. And baptism, the way we do it is not just a show up that Sunday and get baptized, but we have a conversation ahead of time, and we do a couple classes together to help us understand baptism a little bit more and the theology behind baptism and just understanding how it all works to the best of our understanding, as God still remains mysterious to us and to us. But if you're interested in being baptized, come and talk to one of us, and we would love to have that conversation with you. And everyone's prepared to celebrate together in a baptism service on October 7th. Will the ushers come this morning, and we are going to continue in our worship through giving. We recognize that God gives freely to us, and we have an opportunity to give back. So, God, will you make us cheerful and abundant and hospitable givers, just as you are that sort of giver to us. We love you. Bless this offering. Amen.
On the ever
you folks. In my prayers, I feel like I've been saying a lot of, yeah, God, if you will, then I will. And yeah, God, can we get this in place, and then I will. And that sure goes against what we're singing right here, because I don't know if you guys are like this, but I'm guilty of attempting to lean on things that will not hold me up. And I am asking God to make sure our finances are secure, because I'm leaning so heavily on how much money we make, or make sure our house doesn't fall apart, make sure our car still works, make sure that this relationship doesn't get broken with this one person because I really need them to do this or that. And I just find myself trying to lean on all of these other things instead of on His everlasting arms. And I don't know if you have that same problem sometimes, but I'm guessing I don't walk alone in that struggle. So, we're going to sing this chorus one more time. And I invite you to let go of some of the things or all of the things that you find yourself attempting to lean on that will not, in the end, hold you up. And I invite all of us to give our whole selves over in a way where we are fully leaning on Jesus, because He is the one who will carry us. So let's lean together on His everlasting arms and sing one more time.
Your forgiving spirit, your wisdom, your creativity, your patience. And today we consider what it means to live abundantly like Jesus Christ, who's the shining light that we follow, and whose spirit we ask to fill us. This morning you call us to inspiring, difficult, and sometimes frightening missions in life, to bring your realm into our midst. As Pastor Kyle has said, sometimes we want to put parameters on our prayers. If you do do this for us, Lord, we will give back. Lord, help us to adhere to the words of the song we just sang, that we are totally leaning on the everlasting arms today. Lord, would you challenge us to have courage in the face of possible ridicule, perhaps, and failure? We seek to be like Jesus in refusing to be dead in the midst of life, and in refusing to ignore the glaring needs and those insistent cries for help all around us. Would you bring us to new life, I pray, that the Spirit of the resurrection might be magnified in each one of us as we live our lives pleasing to you. So, God of love and mercy, in the quiet peace of this morning, we gather in this holy place to sing our praise to you and to be touched by your gentle Spirit. And now I ask that you would just minister to us through the ministry of the Pic Bow, Dave and Michelle. And as they play, Lord, would we just continue in our worship today, that we would just be one in the Spirit as you are. Thank you for this time as we just pause to concentrate, realign our focus with our ears in tune and our mind and hearts in tune with what you have for us today. So all the distractions that have happened, we push it aside and we just focus upon worshiping you today. So let it be so, I pray. And these needs that we brought before you, Lord, we bring them to you today and continue to place them at your feet. Lay them on the altar before you, that you would give the healing touch that's needed. Whether it's a physical healing, maybe it's an emotional healing, whatever the case is, that you are in charge. We give it to you. Would you be with the families that surround those, everyone whose lives that are touched? We bring them to you today. Lord, this is your day. And we're thankful that we have the opportunity to gather together and to worship you in spirit and in truth. So we do that. And for all that you do for us this day, we'll be careful to give you praise, glory, and honor, because it all rightfully belongs to you. In the strong name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. Amen. Well, without any further introduction, those of you most of us are familiar with Pastor Michelle, and she was with us for 6 years. Almost 6.5 years with us here. And Mr. David Smart, and he's a smart fellow, so you can ask him about that later. But we're delighted and privileged to have them with us and to share their ministry with us. So we welcome them at this time.
I've heard the Lord speak to me already this morning, so I thank you. Where's Kyle? Kyle, thank you for that, for leading us in worship like that. But I think we'll stay for a
We are the Pic Bow. That's what we go by now. We used to be soloists. And we decided, hey, let's do this together, kind of. Let me tell you what. We go by the Bible verse, Psalm 98, verse 1, which says, sing a new song unto the Lord, for he's done great and mighty things. And with that in mind, we believe our God is creative God. He's still creating new things today. Somehow he created the Pic Bow. I don't know what kind of mess we're in now, but that's what it can be. So. Anyway, it's really cool. I don't know if you've noticed that Michelle and I we kind of give visual cues to each other when we're playing. Did anybody pick up on that? Yeah. The woman picked that up right away. That's it. Let me tell you something, guys. When they go like this, it means something. That's right. I was thinking, we had a discussion. I think we had a discussion. I said, I like spaghetti. She goes, what kind of spaghetti? Little spaghetti, long spaghetti, spaghetti with sauce, spaghetti with meatballs, spaghetti with tomatoes, spaghetti with peppers. I said, I like spaghetti.
This conversation never
Anyway, we're trying to work these things out together.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed or if you're aware of this, but when you go into the ministry, your life just becomes perfect.
That's right.
You don't have any more problems because, ministry, God.
That's everything from Sunday school teachers to people who take the
That's
trash.
right, yeah. We have all the answers. And my teenagers stopped talking back. No, actually, that's not true. In fact,
Guitar players work it out.
and so, sometimes it seems like being in the ministry, the enemy can take a special interest in you, to be honest. And there are challenges. I used to think that when I was a teenager and even a young adult, special speakers, revivalists, and musicians would come into the church, and they just seemed to have all the answers. They seemed like they were on top all the time. But that's not really the case. I know that now. We just know where our strength comes from.
Amen.
And sometimes the message that we bring is the one we need to hear. And so we heard it said in a church we played at recently, we would not know the fullness of joy if we hadn't been through some of the struggles that we go through. And sometimes those struggles can be pretty overwhelming. I confess this last week, I let a struggle get me pretty down for a couple of days, honestly. And then somehow the Lord just reminds me of the truth that His grace really is enough. And I think, why did I let that get me down so much? I know who I serve, and I know He knows my heart. And His grace really is, it covers my shortfallings, my shortcomings. And as long as I'm following Him to the best of my ability, then His grace will be enough. And so we'd like to invite you to sing along with us as we sing this next song. It's
You got a cool bass player. I thought he was gonna. In that one song. Oh, hey, that's all right. Okay, we come from different sizes. How many people have? What is it? We forgot to do this part. It's really important. We are the Pic Bow. Everybody say hello to Michelle. Now look, we've already been through a little bit. You can do better. This is guy in the front row. He said, just like this. You know, we're doing the best we can. It's gonna get better. Now everybody say hello, Michelle.
Thanks. Oh, and you can also. If we're going to do this, I have something back here that kind of helps set the tone for this kind of music.
You need a
give you
tone help.
a second here. Yeah, it's back here.
All right. Yeah, we shopped all over a Walmart in Dallas, Texas for that hat.
That's true, that's true. I feel kind of ridiculous in this thing.
Now, finally found one big enough for her head.
These people know me, okay. Well, at least it fits fine. So.
Yeah, right. All right. What a talent. Do it again, please. Oh, thanks. Oh, enough of this.
Touche.
Well, you clap along with her. What's the deal? orange blossom special. You said the orange blossom what?
No, that's not true. Y'all know I lived in Texas for 13 years. I know what the orange blossom special.
No, and then she says, do all bluegrass players play out of tune?
Okay, I did kind of say that, and they do. So, we play a wide range of styles of music. We enjoy a wide range of styles of music, and I believe that because God is a creative God, He's imaged in the world when we are creative. That just means when we're creative, we show the world a little bit about what God is like. And we really enjoy being able to do that through a wide range of styles and types of music. Whether we're playing an instrumental type of a song or a worship song, for us, it really is all in the name of Jesus, because He's the one who gives us the ability to do that. And we want to return glory back to Him through the gifts that He's given us. So we invite you now again this morning to sing along with us on this next medley. We want to worship the name of Jesus.
Thank you for being with us today. And we want to take up a love offering to go for them, and they haven't said anything yet, maybe they will, but there's a table out there that has some CDs out there and some other, I guess.
Can I say something about the CDs?
Well, in a minute. Go ahead.
They're really good.
I happen to have a couple, so
We got a new one out this past week, actually. It's called A Divergent Offering. Yes. And if you kind of like what we do during worship concerts, there's a lot of that music on there. So that was the purpose. Divergent means that we can't get along with nothing. But we put together in just a good package. And there's a lot of the music we did today.
So if our ushers will come before the offering for the Pic Bow. And you can be with us here today. Lord, once again, thank you for the opportunity to come to your house and to worship. And thank you for using the Pic Bow, David, Michelle, in our midst to lead us in that worship today. Thank you for that. Bless now this offering, I pray that you would bless those who give, those who have not given, and multiply this for its intended purpose to further your cause, I pray, in the work of the Pic Bow for this offering. In Jesus' name, amen.
Psalm 36, verses 7 and 8 says, "How priceless is your unfailing love, O God. People take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house. You give them drink from your river of delights." We call this the river.
We appreciate the opportunity of being here. In fact, we're going to close out our part of the morning. See, you guys get out, what, 1:30? Is that right? Yes. We're trying to keep you short.
But today we made an exception.
Okay.
Got to stop the guitarist somewhere, right?
All right, so I'm going to trade instruments. And you're
Bet you've been wondering why this other guitar's sitting over there the whole time, just looking pretty. You know?
Yes, decoration. The most expensive decoration ever bought. We're going to try something. This is the first time we were doing this in the church?
Second.
Where was the other one?
Hamble? Are you good at Hamble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll let us back one of these days.
Maybe.
We're going to try this. Do that. Do that.
It's okay to have fun in church, right?
It is okay. You know, if you can't have fun in church, you need to be someplace else. I don't know. You know, I was thinking, my youngest son told me, he said, you know, Jesus has got to have had a great sense of humor. You know, he traveled 3 years with 12 guys. Yeah, you got to figure there's got to be some kind of pranks or something. Camping and all that kind of stuff. There we go.
being here. Didn't you enjoy that? Last week when I said to you all about when Audrey Landers was here, missionary to South Africa, she was with us, and I said she had some T-shirts out there. We need to buy her out, and you did. She had to order some and they're going to be sending them back to us. So those are coming. Those of you who ordered some. But anyway, so they have some CDs out there. You want me to come and sell that?
That'd be great.
But anyway, so I don't know if you'll enjoy that. Well, stand with me if you will, please. Receive the benediction this morning. What a joy, privilege it's been to be in God's house. Amen?
Yes, amen.
Our brothers and sisters. Now let's take the joy of the Lord with us as we go and spread His good news everywhere. And may the peace of Christ be with you all. Thank you. You are dismissed. May God be with you.